Welcome all to this encounter with the quantum reality. First thing I want to do is to ask you something so we get in place with this. A general question for everyone. Who believes can create his own reality? The thing is, we must know where we are as an individual. If we believe we are creating it, or if we don't believe it, it's still happening. Second question is, who has dedicated some time today to create it? Less hands. So, if we know, let's say 80% of you has shown their hands saying you believe you can create your own reality, but a lower percentage hasn't dedicated some time today to create it. What is the reason? Time? So what are we creating? If I'm not creating consciously my reality because I know I can do it, but I haven't dedicated some time focusing, some silence, because if I don't focus, what is it I'm going to create? You have the answer, and I would like you to share it with me now. If you're not focusing on what you want to create, what is it going to happen? Nothing? Something is going to happen, because otherwise everything would stop, but it doesn't. Nothing stops because you are not doing it consciously. It's still happening. Most of humanity is not doing it consciously, but every day they are creating the reality they have. If we don't do it consciously, how are we going to do it unconsciously? What is the word? By default. Thank you. So if we are not doing it consciously, directing my thoughts, energy where I want to go, I'm creating that by default. I'm going to get nervous about this, or I don't care and I'm completely indifferent. I want to ask you this. Are you ready to receive an unlimited amount of good without conditions? I would like to hear your answers. Yes, you're ready for this? Sounds good, doesn't it? We like to live this way, yes? Somebody doesn't? Has a problem with this? But the thing is it happening in your life? Here we are, the owners of our lives. We come here to talk about ourselves and what's happening in our lives. Beyond that, there is a quantum reality that is working in the universe for everyone. But am I ready to receive an unlimited amount of good without conditions? And I'm making this happen in my life? Or when the good starts getting to my life, I say, hang on, this is not possible. You know the story of Star Wars, when Luke Skywalker arrives to the planet where Yoda, the master, is. He goes to a forest. It's part of his training, because that planet is where he's gone to train. This forest, he goes into it alone, and before he goes in, he asks the master, what am I going to find? The master says, whatever you carry with you. So, if good things happen to me, and I have doubts or fears, thinking, do I deserve it or not? What am I going to do with this? What am I doing? I'm closing the door to that. So, we're going to look at that later on. But let's look at the other part of it. Can you live with the consciousness that everything is for you? Who lives with this consciousness? One person. Any moment of your life or your existence, a thought jumps in saying to you, you have to doubt about things being on your favor or for you. You come out of this belief that maybe not everything is supporting me, supporting my good. Who has subconscious? I am the first one. So let's look more into this. It's very interesting and very passionate. Quantum reality says in the universe there is no lack of anything. To live this reality, it is necessary to stop saying that there is lack of something. Only in this way we can access the quantum reality. What does that mean? That we have created a parallel reality, because in the universe there is no lack. He doesn't know about lacks. This is the reality of the universe, of the quantum field. But to live that, I have to stop affirming that there is lack of something. And here we get into muddy waters, because we are programmed with a system that is saying inside of us and outside of us, and it's saying by definition that there is always a lack of something, or that there is always going to be lack of something. This is the life we're living and the life we're seeing around us. So what is happening between that and the other part? What is happening here? If in the universe there is no lack, and we are living lack, what is happening? A paradox. How can we explain it? Because the only way to access to the universe is to stop affirming there is lack, and in this way I can live in the quantum reality. But this paradox is saying there is a cut in the connection. Who owns the cut and who owns the connection? We, every one of us, and humanity as a group, as a tribe, as family on the planet, that is living a reality that says that there is lack. And in this way, we have the system of duality that we are seeing every day. Here there is a separation. In the universe there is no lack, but in our world there is. So we are separated from the universe. We're not connected with it. We are connected with a belief system that is saying that the duality, the good and the bad, is there. What is bad? When there is a lack of good. There is the good and the lack of good. We call that bad because the ego likes negativity. But it's not. For quantum universe, that is not bad. There is only a lack of good, a lack of connection with the good. And we will see that now. When there is an absence of good, I'm not in the quantum reality. I'm disconnected. I need to understand that right now, today, because my life depends on this. And my life will develop according to how these visions manifest in our lives. Especially now that we have changed a global paradigm, a global change of vibration. We are in this change of vibration. So the rules have been changed. Suddenly, we thought that we were 40, 50 or more and we knew how to live on the planet. But we have chosen a time to be here where there is a change of rules, where things are different. The Mayans talked about that a lot. In this change of cycle, what is going to happen? That the script has been changed. So we have to begin to learn to live again. Isn't that true? Everything we have been doing until now, in all areas of our lives, financially, relationships, work, health, energy, as I project myself as a human being in life, has been transformed because in the essential energy where we were working has shifted, and therefore there is a different type of energy, new energies working on the planet, transforming all the consciousness of our lives and all the structures with which we live, financial, political, spiritual, health, have been transformed. So the rules of the game have been changed, and we are still thinking in 3D, using the same rules, trying to do the same, thinking that it's going to work, but it doesn't work, because the rules have changed. So I need to update myself as a human being. That's why we give these presentations because we need to update our software mentally, emotionally, spiritually. With everything, we are updating the software for our computers, our mobile phones, cellular phones, and all the technology. But in ourselves, our minds, our hearts, we're not updating the software. So what is happening? We are out of phase. We have to understand that the same as technology needs to move forward, we also need to move forward as human beings evolving. So what do I have to do at this time as an individual to change my software? Because I am on a new level of energy on the planet, and I cannot function with the old software anymore because it doesn't work. Because I'm only going to get into frustration, limitations, because I'm not playing with the new rules that are happening on the planet. When the rules change, it's not about a game, any game that we're playing a sport and we can adapt. It is different because the rules that have been changed have to do with our lives. And it has taken us by surprise, and we're still doing the same until we realize we need to change the way we do things. Financial things don't work as before. Relationships don't work as before. If we talk about health, doesn't work as before because the energies of my body and the aura have changed completely in the way we work. So, what is happening? I'm facing a number of situations in which I have to surrender, enter into humility and say, no, I have to let go the way I've been, who I have been. I have to enter into humility and learn the new ways and adapt to the new vibrations. Because now on the planet, the quantum reality is leading the processes of everything. Before you could be in 3D, you could be in spirituality, you could be away from spirituality, but now you have to be connected if you want things to work. You have to be connected with the quantum reality. There is no option now. The planet is moving away from 3D to a 5D, a fifth dimensional reality and consciousness. If you don't understand 5D, I explain it. 5D is the fifth dimensional reality, and the change of vibration goes on the earth from 3D to 5D. In the fifth dimension, there is unity, a level of consciousness where there is unity. On 3D, where we are, there is no unity, there is duality. The fourth dimension, there is a little more unity, but not enough. So the quantum leap we're taking on the earth goes to the fifth, so that we move from duality to unity. That's why we move to the fifth dimension. In 5D there is unity. In that unity means that there is no time and there is no karma. Karma and time go together and belong to the third dimensional reality. When we move to 5D, the fifth dimension, there is no time, there is no karma. We are moving in synchronicity. Cause and effect become one, there is no time between them, and we hit synchronicity. We're used to having a cause and an effect, and between there is time. So our minds function with time inside. We have to move out of time in our minds. Quantum reality says that we're moving to the vibrational level of the fifth dimension. We don't have an option now because that is happening on the planet. The Earth is moving to a planet of fifth dimension. Until now, there was the option in 3D, but now there isn't, because the cycle has been closed. Cosmically, we are moving into the age of Aquarius, which is an era of high vibration. And the high energy that comes in is the violet energy, which is the highest vibration. And this requires our update of our software. We cannot play the game of 3D when the energy on the earth is 5D. Otherwise, we are in chaos. We are out of the game. So what happened between the quantum universe, where there is no lack of anything, and we are living experience of lack every day? What is happening? That we have created a parallel reality through the way we think. Our thoughts create, and the way we function with the beliefs that we have created for ourselves. And we have thought they were real, saying that there is or there isn't. We have lived in this reality where there is something like health or there isn't health. And if there is no health for a time, then what happens? Death. That's how important duality is. If there is something, you enjoy, and if there isn't, you suffer. If there is work, and if there isn't, we hit the way the world is living. Two extremes. And then we talk about crisis because of that, when there isn't. But we have to talk about something different. Happiness versus drama. I am fine if I have things, and if I don't have things, I am in drama, I'm suffering. We live a reality of lack and duality. What happens? That we have to change our reality. What is the thing? The universe is in abundance, the quantum reality. We don't live there. We live in duality and lack. So what is happening? We have created that parallel reality through our belief systems, and we are on a channel parallel to the absolute reality of the quantum field, and there is no connection. In this channel that we are creating, it's like two railway tracks that are parallel, but there's no connection between them. Most of us in humanity think that this channel of duality is the reality. Reality of lack or abundance, según, according to what it happens. We have thought that this is reality, but it's not the reality, it's the one we have created. When we understand what is happening, we have to realize that we are on the wrong channel. It's not a matter of looking the reality of there is, moving away from there isn't. We have to change the channel to the quantum field where there is only abundance. So we have to get out of the old paradigm and enter into the quantum reality that has no limits. Because in the universe there is no lack, and therefore there is no crisis. What is a crisis? Isn't that an absence of something good, something that we need? Can be even food. Can be a crisis of food in a part of humanity because there is a lack of that abundance. It can be an existential crisis. Could be a relationship crisis, or a crisis where you are alone for many years of your life because you're going through this experience. Situations where there are some absences, some lacks of something good, therefore we're suffering that experience. So we have to get out of that paradigm that believes in that reality, and access to the reality without limits, that there are no crises and there are no lacks. Can you follow so far? So we have to move to the quantum human that can access to another reality, the quantum reality. How do I do that? How can I do it? Any suggestions, ideas? The end of all crisis is the only way. How can we do it? We stop channeling 3D and we start working in 5D. We work in the fifth dimension where there are unlimited possibilities of all the good. Is that clear? Yes? Any doubt, you let me know. The quantum field. Let's understand how it works to see what we can do, because if we don't know how it works, we cannot connect with it. Quantum field, imagine the center of the universe, sends a complete signal. There is no lack of anything. That's what it means, complete. In all directions, this signal goes out in all directions. We are in one point of the universe, and when this emanation of the quantum field reaches us perfectly, with everything is whole. But we are experiencing a lack because the signal reaches us incomplete. What is happening? There is a fracture of the signal. Because I am a free will being that sends thoughts and feelings out, and those thoughts and feelings are of lack, I generate a vibrational field different to that signal, which is complete, and it becomes fracture, and I experience incompletion. Because my thoughts are in 3D, in duality. My thoughts say there is lack, there is duality. The signal doesn't have duality, but when it hits your field, it becomes fracture, and you experience lack. And therefore, it arrives at you distorted, and I experience lack. This is what is happening to every human being, every moment of our lives. Can you see how it works? So you want me to explain it further? This is very important. Because the lack is not generated by the universe. The duality is generated in my field. So what is happening that we are experiencing this duality and this response that is fracture. What are we doing so that lack arrives to me when the perfect signal of the quantum field is whole? It doesn't get to me complete because I'm generating a separated will from the quantum will and creating something less than happiness. Who knows A Course in Miracles? The fantastic phrase of the Course in Miracles says, God's will is perfect happiness for me. Quantum field, perfect. But you can suffer from conceiving a will different to God's will. That is an amazing sentence where summarizes this concept. We apply this here. As an individual, I can experience something less than perfection, fracturing the will of God, which wants that everything goes fine for me. We haven't understood God or the universal field. There is no judgment, there is no punishment. We are creating all that because we're disconnected from the understanding of what God is, what divinity is in the quantum field of the universe, where everything is perfect and is being given to us. We have believed in a lack of responsibility, individual and collective, that God was doing something to us. We are doing it to ourselves. God is more real than all that. It's closer to us, and we are awakening to that understanding now, so we're able to understand better what God is, how the universe works, moving away from the lies and dogmas that we have created. God is the greatest guy you can imagine, the most friendly person you can imagine, and the best partner, because He wants to support you without conditions. He has no objections at all to you being happy and that your life is wonderful and everything goes well for you. But you know what He is thinking? If we could imagine that, He would be thinking, what are you doing? Why do you want to suffer? Everything is being given to you, and I'm here supporting you, supporting your good. Why are you creating a fracture in the perfect signal of good that is being sent to you from Source? Imagine that God could be thinking that very easily. What are you doing? It's like you have been given a huge pie, and every human being has a huge pie. So you have everything. You can eat always, all the possibilities are there. So what does the human being does? Gets the pie, eats a little part of it, puts the pie away, and says, poor me, I'm in lack. Ignoring that everything's been given to him, and starts begging, saying, God, please give me. And God says, what is happening? He doesn't understand. It's not a judgment. He is so amazed by it. That's why one of the prayers that I have in one of my books, that I share with people in my workshops, that we have to understand to pray correctly, says, dear God, show me what you have given me. Remove my veils of ignorance so that I see. And I see the gifts you have given me, so I use them for my blessing, the blessing of others and of all life. All prayer that has meaning, has sense, has to say first, thank you that I have everything. If I don't experience it, I look into the problem, but I don't say to God, give me that I don't have. In that way, we are deceiving ourselves. We are in a lie. And it's difficult to get out because we are believing in some deceiving reality and deceitful lie. And therefore, we have to know the reality to become free. We fracture the signal. What we have to do? What do we have to do? Nothing. Why? Because the signal is perfect. Everything has been given to us. God doesn't give you one thing for another. Doesn't give you less. And then you can ask for the rest of it. He gives everything all the time. What do we have to do? Nothing. Why? Because in the moment I do something with my mind of 3D, my distorted thinking process, then I change the signal and I experience lack. Therefore, I am missing something. What do? Nothing. So I don't fracture the signal. What is a good word for doing nothing? Surrender, acceptance, allowing. What do? I allow the good. But we really are in a situation in life where we allow the good, or we are resisting it. Or we are manipulating with our ego, saying, well, we are resisting somehow because our not healed subconscious is stopping the good happening in our lives without limits. Allowing what has been done, let go my neurosis, and let God be. Let God be God, because we don't allow God to be God. We want to control everything, and then we create the problems and the lacks we experience. Everything has been given, you only have to access it. This is the quantum reality, and then we become quantum beings with that. Everything is in the possibilities, and you only have to make the order. What order? How does the universe work? The universe is like a screen, like this one, but instead of projecting these messages, we project our visions, our desires, our vibrations, what we want to believe. If I believe I deserve a new house, then I'm projecting that. The universe receives the signal of my desire, my vibration, and it starts moving in that direction. So I receive a new house. Can be everything you want. More money, more abundance, more spirituality. It doesn't matter. It's the same for the universe to create a new house or to create your twin soul. It doesn't have any problem. That the screen we project the things we want. We are projecting it. This man says, and his subconscious mind says you don't deserve it, then you are projecting that. Because I can think I want a new house, and my subconscious says you don't deserve it. What happens then? I'm sending that vibration out. The law of attraction is not like simple like eating some food. It is complex because it's a path of spiritual development where you have to change inside. And you have to align yourself with the universe. Otherwise, you are generated unconsciously something opposed to what you want. And there's a conflict. A lot of people say to me the law of attraction doesn't work, and I say to them, have you done the work? Okay, that's it. Because we're generating in one way one signal, and with the subconscious we are generating another signal. All part of us is not rowing on the same direction. Because if you have 10 rowers on a boat and 5 do it in one direction and the other 5 in the other direction, we cannot move. If you are looking to the shore, you are on a lake and you're rowing and you see the same tree all the time and you're not moving after a while, then you need to have a conversation with your subconscious, because it's not rowing with you in the same way, in the same rhythm. So we have to change something. The universe projects all this, and the neuronal connections that we are sustaining is because we are sustaining a belief system or a way of thinking that create those neuronal bridges in our brain. When you have a system of thought, you think duality is real, things go good, but maybe things don't go good. That system of thinking create neuronal connections. The biology of the brain is being organized from a way of thinking. Consciousness creates matter. You think in a way and your neuronal connections become configured in that way. It becomes that neuronal network supports the thoughts that travel through them. It has been created and the thoughts circulate there. That neuronal connection sends electromagnetic signal to the quantum field, and that is the way the reality is being created for a person, because that signal has your own signature. It recognizes it's coming from you and recognizes it's what you are ordering through those thoughts. The universe receives that signal, organizes the order you are asking for, and sends it back to you. They call on the door and they say to you, oh, it's DHL from the universe, it's a parcel for you. And you look at the parcel and say, what is this? You open it, you don't like it and say, it's not for me. And then he says, you are so and so and you live here. You say, yes, then this is for you. And you have to leave it. You have to eat that because you have created it. Maybe you didn't realize you created that situation of lack, but you did unconsciously create it, and therefore it's coming to you. You're saying, this is who I am, this is how I think, this is how I feel, and the universe obeys that and gives you exactly what you have said you are. The universe doesn't send you anything or nothing that doesn't belong to you. We are the ones creating the result we are experiencing because we are sending them and we are getting them back. The heart also sends a signal, electric signal from the mind and magnetic signal from the heart, electromagnetic signal that becomes one signal unified that goes into the universe so that it becomes processed and you experience the reality you are living. That's how the universe works. That's how our lives function. The thing is that we weren't told this early enough when we were kids, because otherwise, where would we be as human beings? We have eaten a lie every day, we have learned something different every day, and we have eaten it with milk and coffee for breakfast, thinking that was what we had to do. And it's very difficult for us to think in a different way, because we are so used to thinking that this is a reality that we tend to find it very difficult to think that we are deceived. Human being has subconscious. Human beings sense an electromagnetic signal with an emanation that is a wave of energy that has a relationship with the universe. The universe is the universal field. the universe responds to this signal that we are sending. If I'm depressed, I'm sending this wave of energy, and that day things don't go very well for me. And therefore I've been depressed 5 years, and let's say that for 5 years things haven't gone very well. But if I'm fine, I'm well, the signal I'm sending is very different, therefore things go well for me. And people and the reality and the world around me responds in the way of the energy I'm sending out. Not only that person that is before you receive your signal, but the universe also receives your signal and therefore responds. We have been made to believe that the universe is a fixed system, and it's not. It's a quantum field of possibilities that is moving according to the consciousness of the individual or any person that is within that field. Einstein theory, the relativity, we know from that if you observe a field of electrons, that can be this world, they respond according to the observer. If you don't observe the electron becomes a wave of energy, but if you observe the electron, it becomes a particle. So the electron manifests when you are observing it. Otherwise, the electron says, I'm going for a party, I'm moving away from here, and becomes a wave of energy. So this is the thing. Everything is related, and nothing is fixed. We haven't understood this enough because we have learned something else, which wasn't telling us the truth about the universe. We have to understand that there is this parallel reality we have created away from the quantum reality of the universe. We are creating something which is not aligned with it, so we have to say, hang on, what are we doing? We have to update ourselves so that we actually move into the channel of the creation of the good if we want things to go well. But now, not in 5 years' time, we want now this change, because I want to be able to start functioning with this quantum reality, with this new paradigm, and to become a quantum being right today. I don't have to wait anymore. That's why we have workshops all the time about living the quantum reality and living the quantum abundance. Okay, let's see. There is a place where there is a lack, a real lack somewhere. Electrons made up everything. Everything's made up of electrons everywhere. So have you heard in plays or in the news, online, on the radio, anywhere, have you heard that there is a lack of electrons? Somebody says yes. And as it happens, everything is made up of electrons. Everything. Even the money, that when there seems to be a money crisis, is also made of electrons. So where is the lack? Where is the lack of what you want? Everything is made up of electrons. So where is the lack? Any message saying that there is a lack? People saying, hey, people in humanity, you have to get out at 3 a.m. in the morning because there are few electrons going by at that time and you must make sure that you get them? What kind of lies are we believing? Where is the lack? Let's go to nature. Let's go to the sea. Where is the lack? There are less fish, but if that is the case, because we have killed them, not because they've stopped reproducing. You go to the sea this weekend and do this shamanic experiment to break your concepts. You sit before the shore and count the waves, and then you say, okay, in 10 minutes I've seen so many waves, and then you multiply them. How many in 1 hour, how many in 1 day? Where is the lack? The sea doesn't make waves anymore? Is there a lack of waves? But you go to the forest. I went to a huge forest the other day. It was like a jungle, like the Amazonian jungle. I was thinking about the conference, and that was amazing when I saw the abundance of trees, leaves. Only in my field of vision there were millions of leaves, and the forest was endless. And I thought, where is the lack? What are we doing with our human life? What are we believing that there is lack of something? In one moment of your wonderful life, have you thought that the sun will go away on holidays? You imagine that the sun says, okay guys from the earth, I'm going away for 2 weeks on holidays, and then I'll come back. When he comes back, there will be no life on earth. So what are we talking about, thinking that there is lack of anything? We're living in a universe where there is abundance of everything. The sun doesn't go on holidays. And where I live, sometimes people go away for a month on holidays, a month a year. We are really intelligent. We don't need to become silly, believing lies that make us limited. We are beyond that. Where is the lack of all this in the universe? Lack of energy, lack of waves, lack of life, lack of light. If we don't have sun, it's because we probably live in the north of Europe. But the sun is still there. Even where there are clouds, the sun is still there. So we need to ask ourselves, where are you looking? Because what I'm looking, what I'm seeing is what is going to happen in my life. Because the forest can be full of trees and leaves, but if inside my head I'm thinking of lack and I'm contemplating a lack of something, it doesn't matter that the infinity is there, I'm going to experience lack. Where is the true lack or the financial crisis? Is there less money? Let's not deceive ourselves. There's the same money as there has always been, or even more because they're printing it. Okay? So why don't we finish with the financial crisis printing money for everyone? I'm not going to go into that because this is another talk. But I want us to reflect on things. Where are we looking? Are we looking at the lack or are we looking at the abundance? Because that's what we're going to create in our lives.